Hey Crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video. Today we are going to be featuring products from Scrappy Boy Stamps, and we are going to be using the new Butt Cracker Fairies Sweet collection. So we have a stamp set and coordinating dies, and we have some pattern paper, the Butt Cracker Fairies. Yes, it makes me laugh every time. We're also going to be using the Music Box A2 card die to create our card today. So I've actually already stamped and colored my images that we're going to use today. We're only going to use one for our card. The base of our card, we're going to make a music box, and one of our little fairies will be coming up out of our music box. So we'll need that for a sentiment for the inside and to stamp with. Let me move this to the side. I've got a piece of craft cardstock. I cut it in half. We're going to cut out the parts of our music box, because this looks confusing, but it's really not. So we have part of our base of our box, and then we have the other pieces of our box. So you have the layering pieces and the piece that lays inside that. So we're going to take our layering pieces in a minute and do that. We're going to add, we're going to cut this out first. So I'm going to pull up my die cutting machine and I will run this through our die cutting machine. So there is part of our box, or music box. Let me move this. I'm going to show you the pattern paper. All right, so this is the Butt Cracker Fairy pattern paper pad. We have that pattern on one side, all little Butt Cracker Fairies, and a textural pattern on the other. We have this brick pink pattern. We have this pattern right here. We have a toolbox and some polka dots, some red stripes, and geometric pattern. So a checkerboard. On the back is more toolboxes and this white pattern, which is our last one with screwdrivers. So I think we are going to use the brick pattern, and then I will add another piece on my card after I decide which one I want to use. But I'm going to cut my brick pattern out of my pattern paper as an accent. So I'm going to line those up. I'm going to run this through. And this will give us some frames to layer with onto our piece. All right, I went and pulled some darker brown cardstock because I'm going to cut those same pieces out of that as well. That way we're going to have some more, a little bit more dimension onto our music box. So I'll pull those off. Now we also need to do our stand that our music box is going to sit on, as well as the mirror. I pulled out some silver foil, and I'm going to layer. That's going to be the inside of our mirror, and this is going to be our stand. So I'm going to do those out of the silver cardstock. And I think as well, since we have a little bit of room here, we're also going to do the latch of our music box in silver. I consider doing it in gold, but I think silver would be a better choice. That way we don't have another metallic anywhere. Now I'm going to pull back my pattern paper, and we will have a layering piece that will give us a little bit of dimension. I'm going to do that out of the bigger piece right there. And I'm also going to do my frame. I think we'll go back to the craft for that, or do it in white. Let me move that right over there. I have a scrap of white right there. We will use this. And I think I'm going to cut that larger oval also out of the craft and see which one I like the best. That way it'll give me a little bit of options with our music box. All right, so that's all the parts and pieces of that. I'm also going to go ahead and pick out my little fairy that we're going to use. We're going to go with this one right there. So I will get the coordinating die for him. I'll get a little bit of repositionable tape. Take that. And the reason all these are stamped on the same thing is because I will take and sit down, stamp everything out, color everything on one sheet of paper or whatever, and I will sit down and create my cards from that. That gives me a way to stamp everything, die cut everything, and sit and be able to just do things in steps to be able to create more projects. All right, so there is our little Butt Cracker Fairy. And again, it just makes me laugh. All right, we're going to use our craft cardstock as our card base. The half sheet that we have left. And I'm going to pull in my little score tool, and I'm going to score that in half at 4 1/4. We'll fold that in half. That way I already have my card base ready. And if you want to do some fun Christmas cards, if you're bored with the normal stuff, this is a great way to go. It's a great little fun little set. I'm just cutting down some pattern paper for my card front. And we'll have a piece for the inside of our card as well. The extras I just stick in the back of my little pocket. All right, so we'll go ahead and add our pattern paper on the front of our card base. We're just going to use liquid adhesive for that. I'm just going to give that an even margin. I'm going to add this other little piece right here. Add that on this side. Now we can take our parts and pieces for our little music box. Move our little guy there. All right, so that's going to be the base of our music box. It's going to be the back, so we may have to turn it this way. We will. So we're going to turn our little card that way. This piece was going to get layered right in there. That will get layered back on the back. And that would go in there. Do I want to add... I know that normally a music box has like a decorative inside. I'm just trying to decide if I want that to be the pink or if I just want to do the dark and the pink on the outside. I think I want to see what this looks like. So we will take it and put that right there. We're going to do it that way. Grab some reverse tweezers. I'm going to add just little dots of liquid glue along the edge. that right there. I'm just lining it up on this corner right here and that little edge right there. Which apparently I didn't have it lined up right, but that'll be okay. Add this dark piece right here on the inside. We'll add our lock for the outside. I'm just going to dot some liquid glue on here. We'll line that up in the center for our music box. Give that glue a little bit of time to dry. I'll take my frame for the top of the box. Add liquid glue on that. We will add our frame for the top. Make sure we get this lined up. I'm going to add a little bead of glue right here because I left that small little margin where I can attach the top right there. Let's give that a second. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and add my pattern paper to that top part on the inside. So I can save these pieces for another project. We're going to go ahead and build up our mirror so we can decide which way we want to go with that. We can do white or we can do craft. I think we're going to go with the craft, so I'll move these pieces. Add liquid glue to our mirror. And then I'm going to attach this to the inside center of our music box right there. All right, we're going to go ahead and stamp on our music box. We're going to add our sentiment over here. I'm just trying to decide which one. All right, I'm going to take my music box, stick it in my Misty, and I'm going to take the sentiment, Who Needs Sugar Plum Fairies, on the outside. And I'm going to stamp that in Fallen Leaves, VersaFine Clear Ink. So I don't want to go black. I want to have that dark brown. So there's that. I'm going to take my card and I'm going to open that up because I'm going to add one of our images to the inside as well as an inside sentiment. So I'm going to let's do our little guy first. We're going to use this one right here. I'm going to move him up about right in there because I'm going to add this pattern paper right there as well. I'm going to stamp it in that same Fallen Leaf ink. And because he has his little butt crack showing with his little heart tattoo, which is just humorous to me. And I will admit, the first time I saw this set, I rolled. I just fell out laughing. And I'm going to use the sentiment, Have a Cracking Good Christmas. And we will use our same ink for that. All right, we're going to take our stamp off. I'll put these away. I'm going to go ahead and add my pattern paper to the inside. So we're just going to give him a little place to stand right there. All right, so we've got our little music box. Let's finish building our stand for him to stand on. We're going to take and add our little pink layer to our stand. And then we have our white layer that he will stand on. So we'll layer that on for his little stage. I'm going to add liquid glue to that. We will tuck it right on the edge of our music box. Then we will take our little fairy, and I'm going to pop him up on some foam dimension. I'm going to peel these off. Then our little fairy is going to go right on his little stand. I turned him a little bit so that way the mirror, you can see it. And then I'm going to add a little ink blending around the edge of our music box. So we have a little bit of little definition right here. A little bit more color. I always like to do that with a die cut. All right, I'm going to take some foam tape, thinner foam tape, and I'm going to add behind our music box to pop it up a little bit more. And we'll take and peel off these backings. I'm going to add liquid glue behind. So we have a little wiggle room with getting this lined up where we want it to go. Now we're going to add some highlights to him as well. All right, coming in with our white pen. This is a Posca paint pen. We're going to add some highlights to him and his little wrench, his little beard, his t-shirt. Definitely have to give him some highlights on his tutu. I'm also going to add a little bit of highlighting on our music box. As well as our inside right there. A little to our stand. Our little key. And this side over here. Now for a little finishing touch, I'm going to add some glitter to his tutu. So I've just got a 2-way glue pen. I'm going to grab a scrap piece of cardstock. And I've got some rock candy glitter. We'll add to our tutu, make it nice and sparkly. Pop off the excess. All right, my friends, here is a look at our card. There's a closer look at the card. Here's a look at the inside. If you like any of these products, you can pick them up in the links below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Stay crafty. Love you.